My name is Miss Tammy from the Rooster Public Library. Welcome to our summer reading program. We're so glad to have you. If you haven't had a chance to register for the summer reading program, it's really easy to do. Just come by the library and sign up. Give us your name and age and just keep track of how many books you read. Or you can call the library at 336-824-2232. And whenever you get a chance, you can come by and pick up a goodie bag we prepared for you. We would love to see you. Our summer reading program this year is Tales and Tales. We have a lot of programs ready for you. It's a tales and tales like animal tales. Our story today has lots of animal tales in it. There's a donkey, a dog, a cat, and a rooster. Do any of those animals together remind you of anything that you may have seen before? Well, the story we're going to tell is the Bremen Town Musicians. And that's not just one book. There's a bunch of books that has the Bremen Town musicians story in it. I found so many. But this goes way back to Grimm's fairy tales. They were some brothers in the 1800s that put a collection of fairy tales and folk tales together. This one goes all the way back to 1819, over 200 years ago. So this is a really old story, but it's still a really good one. Are you ready? All right, let's listen to the Bremen Town Musicians, okay? All right, this was a long time ago, and there was a donkey. All right, we have a little donkey here. All right, and this donkey, he was living a good life. He had been working hard for his master for many, many years, but he had gotten so old that he couldn't carry all the heavy loads that he used to, and he just couldn't work like he used to. And one day he overheard his master say that he had to get rid of him. Oh my goodness, oh no, he was just so alarmed. He goes, oh, and he thought, what am I going to do? And he thought, well, I'm just going to run away. And he thought about it, and he thought, you know what? I'm a pretty good musician. I think I'll go to Bremen and see if I can make a living there. So that's what he did. He started his journey to Bremen. That's actually a town in Germany. And he decided that he would leave home and head that way. So he headed off to Bremen. So he's walking and walking and walking and walking. And on his way, he met a dog. Hello, dog. That's what he said. And the dog was just laying there. He's so sad. And he said, what's wrong with you? He says, I've just gotten so old and just not much account and not much of a good watchdog anymore. I heard my masters talk about getting rid of me. Oh, no, how sad. And the donkey said, well, I'm on my way to Bremen Town to become a musician. You know, I've heard you before. You have a pretty good voice. Would you like to come along with me? So he decided that he would go along and joined the donkey on his journey to Bremen. So the donkey and the dog were going to Bremen. Along their way, they met a cat. And she was sitting and she was just so sad looking. And the donkey asked the cat, what's wrong with you? Oh, poor little kitty. And she said, well, I'm getting old and my teeth aren't as sharp as they used to be, and you know, I don't like to hunt mice as much as I used to, and I just kind of like to lay by the fireplace now in my older years. But you know, the master, she really likes for me to catch mice, and I heard her talking about she's going to get rid of me because I wasn't catching as many mice as I used to. So the donkey and the dog told her where they were heading and said you could come with us. So she thought that was a good idea. So she joined them on their trip to Bremen. And they were walking, and they were walking, and they were walking. And they come along to this farmhouse, and they met a rooster. And he's going, cock-a-doodle-doo! my goodness, he just kept on going, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. And the donkey stopped. What in the world are you crowing about so much in the middle of the day? He said, well, he said, I overheard the lady of the house say that they were having company for Sunday, and guess what's going to be for lunch? Oh no, they were going to make him into chicken soup, and so he was going, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh my goodness, he was just so upset, so he was just going back and forth on the fence, cock-a-doodle-dooing. And so the donkey told them that where they were headed, that they were going to Bremen and he could go with them. So the rooster thought that was a much better idea than ending up for Sunday lunch. So he joined them. So all four of them were headed on their way to Bremen. Now Bremen was a long ways off and they couldn't get there in just one day. So they stopped for the evening to rest and spend the night, and they were kind of in the woods. So the donkey and the dog, they lay down at the bottom of a tree. And the cat, she kind of curled up in a tree. And the rooster, he flew up to the top of the trees, and that was where it was safest for him. So he was up there, and it was getting dark, and then it was completely dark, and the rooster saw off in the distance a house with a light on it. And they got to thinking, the rooster did, that it would be better to spend the night in a house than out in the woods. So he flew down from the tree, and he told the donkey and the dog and the cat that he saw a house in the distance. So they said, well, let's just go there and see if we can spend the night there. So whenever they made it to the house, they looked inside the window, and they could see some robbers sitting in there counting their money, and they had a whole bunch of food on the table. And oh, they were getting hungry. The donkey was so hungry, he hadn't had anything to eat all day. And they thought, oh my goodness, we would just love to get in there and eat something. So the donkey got an idea. He climbed up and put his hooves up on the windowsill. And he said, okay, dog, you get up on my back. And cat, you get on dog's back. And then rooster, you get on top of cat. And on the count of 3, we're all going to sing. So they really were going to be musicians. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, you heard a hee-haw, meow, 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 cock-a-doodle-doo, all at one time. It scared those robbers to death. They didn't know what in the world was going on. It was such a big ruckus, they just went running out the door just as fast as they could. Well, they ran out the door, the donkey and the dog and the cat and the rooster, they went in there and they started eating, and they just were having a good old time, and then they got tired, and after they got their bellies full, they lay down and they was going to spend the night there. It was a wonderful plan. So the donkey, he actually went back outside, and the rooster, he went and roosted in a tree, and the cat, she lay down right in front of the fireplace, and the dog stood guard by the door, and they went to sleep. Meanwhile, the band of robbers were out in the woods, and they were thinking, what in the world happened? What in the world did we leave that perfectly good house? So they got to thinking, and the leader of the bad guys, of the robbers, he said, hey, you go back and you check that out. He said, I don't see anything going on there. You go and see what's going on. So he sent one of the bad guys to go check out what was going on back at the house. So he went, and they had turned off all the lights, and there was no light in the house. And so he crept in the door, and he was going to light a match. Well, you know how a cat's eyes kind of glow in the dark? Well, he thought there was a coal in the fireplace, so he takes this match and he's going to light it in the coals, he thought, in the fireplace, which was really the cat's eyes. So he came toward the cat, and she jumped up and she started scratching and hissing and oh, it scared that robber to death. And then the dog jumped up and bit him on the leg, and he went running out the door. And as he's running out the door, the donkey kicked him, And then the rooster was going cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh my goodness. He was scared to death, and he went running toward the woods just as fast as he could. And he got there. He said, oh, I don't know. There's just all kinds of monsters in that house. We can't go back there. It's too dangerous. So they never went back to the house. But the donkey and the dog and the cat and the rooster, they were so perfectly happy staying at that house that they decided that they would not go to Bremen to be musicians. After all, that they would just all live together in that house out in the woods. And that is the story of the Bremen Town musicians. Did you like that 200-year-old story? That was pretty cool, wasn't it? So this was actually our Animal Tales musical tale. Miss Tammy, she's not very musical, but I do have something for you that we thought you might could do. If you come by the library, we have a little craft for you. And this is a kazoo that you can come by and pick up and make and have some fun. And all it is a comb, and you put a little piece of wax paper on it. And whenever you put it up to your lips, you just hum a song, and we can sing Yankee Doodle. Oh, or you can sing any song you want to. I'm sure you can make it better and sound better than I can. I'm not very talented, but you always get better with a little practice, no matter what you do. And it has some more ideas that you can do to make some music and the little pack that we have for you. So I hope to see you soon, and hope that you can come by and check out some books and read. I've had fun with you today. I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.